What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with Christian Harloff. Thanks for joining me here each and every day, well, Monday through Friday, on this channel where we talk about the latest and greatest in the UAP phenomena, the UAP news. This is what this is, the channel, certain things that pop up. I have a full-on podcast, a full show that I do every Tuesday, which is called UAP Tuesdays on my main channel. Tomorrow, we're doing a full, about an hour, hour and a half, but this is just the little tidbits. And if you watched my show last week, my full show, I had retired Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet on the show with Darcy Weir, and we talked about USOs, and we talked about, as I've just kind of been getting educated on a lot of this stuff too, and it seems more and more that these reports of whatever these things are, they go there. A lot of times they're seen going up, and a lot of times they're seen going in the water. There's footage of one that was zipping through and it kind of seemed to go underwater. One that there's footage of one that seems to like split. And Tim Gallaudet talked about it a lot at the Soul Foundation also. And then this was a video that I wanted to play real quick. Let me play this video and then we'll talk about this one on the other side. Here it is.
And that underwater aspect is horribly, horribly neglected. And in fact, today I think Admiral Gallaudet has put out the Soul's first white paper, which has to do with the undersea aspects or underwater aspects of UFOs. I think that's the most neglected aspect of these things. And I can say that I had, over the last year and a half, me and the UAPX team, we briefed Senator Gillibrand's team twice. We've briefed the U.S. House of Representatives Armed Services Committee. We briefed AARO, and we briefed the Department of National Intelligence. And they all asked us one question that they had in common, and it was the main question that we were asked was, what are your capabilities for observing underwater? That's what everybody wants to know. And that is clearly the most important aspect of UFOs, unidentified flying objects, that there is. It's the underwater aspect. It's been horribly ignored, but it's clearly the most important aspect. And I find that fascinating.
Okay, so that is from the UFO podcast, and it's pretty fascinating because I agree. I think that, and I even said it as much, and I don't know if you're watching this video, how long you've been following me or knowing exactly. Maybe you just found this video just now. I have recently, I think over the last like 7-8 months, really been diving into this topic and learning about this topic, and even until recently didn't even know anything about USOs. And as he just mentioned, it is not talked about a lot. And when people bring it up, no one really talks about this at all, and it does seem to be a big component of it. It does seem to be a big part of the puzzle, and it is also crazy when you watch. As I was watching that documentary by Darcy Weir, it's like you really take into consideration of how, I mean, the entire world is basically covered in water anyway, and how much of it we've actually really explored that much. So if something had the capability to go under into places that we can't possibly go, good place to hide out, so that's why I think it's very intriguing when it's like one of these things, as far as like, well, what's the capability of being able to observe these things? And it also adds into like, how long has this whole process with the stuff there lead to the stuff underwater? It's interesting, it's intriguing, and it does also open up the bigger question of how much do all governments really know about these things? And it's more getting out more to the public, more things that there's reports. There's tons of reports about how the underwater stuff. And I thought the stuff in the reports that were in the sky, I was like, oh man, that's interesting. The stuff that was going on in the sky. And then to know about all the stuff that's going on underwater. And when you read Tim Gallaudet's thing that he had put on for Soul, and then I had the opportunity to speak to him last week, it's all pretty fascinating. So is there more going on in the water that people are telling us about? What do you guys think? And do you think that it is? How much were you aware of it? That's the question. how much were you aware of the stuff going on in the water? Or did you think, like me, it was just stuff going on in the sky? What the hell is it? So make sure you comment. Let me know what you think. And if you're brand new to the channel, you haven't been here before, subscribe to it. We have daily news from Monday through Friday on this channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my other channel, please do, because every Tuesday we have our full long podcast, and you can get all of this. You can get all this, the normal podcast on audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on the Down to Earth with Christian Harloff podcast feed. All right, thanks for joining me here today, and we'll see you tomorrow.